One of the private schools in Selma is set to close
yeah.
after 55 years. Meadowview Christian is set to close its doors at the end of this school year.
Right.
They tried to get interest and gauge interest, and they didn't get enough to say, yeah, we can afford to reopen.
Right. It seems like the kindergarten, elementary school had good response in the number of students coming back, but the higher grades, the response was, as they said, was weak.
For sure.
Yeah. And so, unfortunately, that means there's not enough revenue coming in to not just pay the teachers, but to keep the building, pay the water bill and the power bill. So they're going to have to shut their doors down. And they don't exactly know how, as they said, how the end of the year is going to look quite yet.
Right.
But that we're still waiting on word on that.
And this has been talked about a bit over the last few years.
I think we had a story in December about
the decline.
Yeah.
And I do know that I have a kid at Morgan that's sort of a competing private school that has seen an influx of the upper level kids, because my kid's a senior, coming in from Meadowview. So I think that it's pretty obvious that the end is near. Yeah. And it's really sad. It's sad, but it's also another question that maybe we ask you, the community. Is it time that everybody goes to school together?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Because we've had the private school, public school setup basically since the 70s, late 60s. And I do think it is time to consider. And I've seen a couple of stories about, we just talked about Dallas County schools have been taken over by the state with financial issues, and what they're looking at it and saying, you've got dropping enrollment, and Selma City Schools has dropping enrollment at about the same rate. Should they be combined? We talked about that last week.
We did. And the other question that it begs is, where are the kids going?
Yeah. What if we had, instead of 4 high schools plus the private schools, what if we had 3 strong high schools in county that was just the county? Now, as many of you know, Perry only has 1 school district. Wilcox only has 1 school district, although there is a private school there.
Yeah.
There's a charter school in Perry County, Breakthrough, that actually does pretty well. Now, Demopolis split from Marengo many years ago, and so that is a separate district. But in our small community.
But what's interesting in Demopolis is there's no private schools anymore because the public school system
they chased them out.
So good.
They were so good that they all closed.
Matter of fact, I work out in what was once one of the private schools. It's now a gym.
So it does make you wonder, if you had a strong public school,
would you even need the private school?
Right. So Selma had a strong private or public school system.
Right.
Until the early 90s. I was 15.
What do you think we can do to make it better?
Yeah.
That's another good discussion.
What do you think could help us with, and in the Black Belt, with education? Because it is one of our nagging concerns.
Yeah, it's very much so.
Along with healthcare. Yeah, those are the 2 that nag me the most living here in the Black Belt.
And here's the thing, when you think about it, if you don't do education first, you don't even worry about healthcare. Educated people and educated populace is going to take care of their health and find ways to do. So it's all